Hello, everybody. Over the last week, with the events surrounding the assassination of activist Charlie Kirk, preceding the 24th commemoration of the tragedy of 9/11, these have been heavy times. I have wrestled and grappled with how to respond to all of this. As an empath, I feel the grief of everybody that is around me. I was not a follower or supporter of Charlie Kirk. His name is fairly new to me, actually. I've seen and heard sound bites and news clips here and there of things he said or supposedly said. And while I was on board with maybe some of the things he said, I did not agree with everything. And I certainly didn't always agree with his delivery or presentation. That said, at the end of the day, he was a man, a 31-year-old man who has 2 small children and a wife that are left behind to grieve him. He was a friend. He was a cousin to somebody. He was a coworker, a former coworker, a former podcast guest host, whatever. He was a lot of things to a lot of people, as you and I are a lot of things to a lot of people. He may have had way more influence and the world's attention with a lot of the things that he said and did. But still, at the end of the day, he was someone using his First Amendment right to speak what he perceived as truth. And he should have had a right to do that without being shot. There are so many reasons why this whole thing is so tragic. But there's yet another reason. And this is where I feel I need to speak. You see, over the last 4 years, while I've been busy building a business, tending to family, dealing with my own personal drama, and all the things that come with life, I have also learned to see all of these kinds of events through a different lens entirely. And that is all about how so many of these things are, if not straight up orchestrated, they are then used as yet more tools of division and chaos. There are way too many people making this a political and partisan issue when it is not either of those things. It is life and death. This isn't a time to wave the red and the blue and the Democrat and the Republican flag. First of all, this may shock you, but I've never felt more strongly that the red and the blue and the Democrat and the Republican, they're 2 wings of the same freaking bird. Does that mean I'm cynical and I don't believe that we can't have healing and some semblance of unity? No, actually, I do believe we can have that. But here's the thing. It starts with us refusing to be used like pawns on a chessboard. That this is about a creed, a religion, a race, whatever. These are the tools they've used to divide and conquer us for hundreds of years. And they're still doing it. So what's heartbreaking to me, aside from the tragedy itself, is I'm watching so many people get lured into this argument again and again and again. And it's so heartbreaking. The same thing happened in 2020. Everything became so inflamed because of COVID. Are you mask? Are you anti-mask? Are you pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine? Are you COVID is a hoax? COVID isn't a hoax. Again, the same division tactic. The numbers flashing on the screen, there were lies on both sides. And again, sides. This was about life and death. This is about freedom. I cannot separate my personal core values, love, truth, and freedom, from the commentary that I'm providing right now about this topic, or these topics. I'm not political. You know who I believe in? We the people. You know who that is? That's all of us. That's humanity. It's not just America. It's literally everyone. Every sentient soul on this earth. That's who I'm with. You won't find a single political anything on my person or in my car. Okay, I'm wearing this. What does it say? Support our troops. Support the ones that serve. Again, doesn't matter what party they're in. They're serving. Support them. That's not political. My car, I have the rear window literally branded with a vinyl sticker that says "We the People." It's a preamble to our Constitution. But it still stands for all of us. I've already gone longer than I wanted to. But let me just say this. Over the last 4 years, I have wept with people that have lost friends. Why? Because they chose to believe something different than was being told to them in the media. I have talked with people who walked away from lifelong careers they loved. Why? Because they couldn't go against their conscience and obey a mandate that had no lawful premise and could, in fact, be harmful to their health. They chose to lose lifelong professions instead of potentially injuring themselves or dying because of an proven medical treatment. And that's what it was. I have sat with people, and this is the toughest one of all. I have sat with people that weren't allowed to attend their loved one's wake or funeral or advocate for them when they were in the hospital or rehab or nursing. I have talked with people that had to make impossible decisions they never should have had to make. I have met with people, I have hosted people, I have prayed with people that marched, that drove, that went to as far as Canada to protest and stand for their right for medical sovereignty. And I know people who put their lives on the line. Not just their professions, but their lives on the line. And they are today. Still. Because they choose to stand up against a system that's not political, but it works against we the people. So yeah, I'm more than a coach, a mentor, and a podcast host. I'm someone that in my own quiet way stands with people who are trying to make a difference, who are doing their best to fight for we the people, and who refuse to believe that hope is lost. Hope is not lost. A lot of the possibility of our reclaiming what's been lost and robbed of us has to do with us recognizing as a collective when we're being used and played, and both sides use and play us. I happen to believe strongly that there is a divine plan that will elevate humanity, that will heal our land, and I don't just mean America. And I, again, in my own way, stand with the people that are trying their best to bring that into reality. You may never know their names. I may never know a lot of their names. But I know they're out there. And I won't stop believing in we the people. And I definitely won't stop believing that the Creator has a greater plan than any political party, creed, religion ever could. At the end of the day, that's where my hope lies. I don't believe in any one system, in any one government, in anything, really, exclusively. I don't subscribe to any one person's interpretation or version of anything. I've learned not to. As someone who talks a lot about intuition, it's more important than ever that we learn as a collective to listen with more than just our ears, to watch with more than just our eyes, and to discern truth from fiction. And in no way do I suggest or think that I have everything all figured out. I don't. I don't at all. We're often being shown a picture, a soundbite, that tempts us to think, because so-and-so said it, because it was on such and such a network. Oh, well, they're conservative, they wouldn't say that. Oh, they're liberal, they would say that. I don't speak in those terms. I don't speak in left versus right, Democrat versus Republican, liberal versus conservative. Because again, it's another divisive tactic. I'm a living soul. You're a living soul. At the end of the day, what matters is the relationship, if we can peacefully love one, in the relationship that we have with the Creator, with the divine, whatever you want to call them. I can't just say universe. It's always been way more personal than that, way bigger than that. That's where my hope lies, not in any of this nonsense. And if your heart is heavy and you're grieving over what's happened in the last week, I truly offer you my empathy and comfort. You're in my heart. And I really, really don't think that there's anyone on my list that would be celebrating at a time like this. I hope not. That's your right, but I hope not. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. And I'll speak to you again soon.